BFTB. Best fight the best. So, here we go again with the same nonsense. I'm not letting this subject go. I mean, my interest for Deontay Wilder fighting Anthony Joshua is diminishing by the day. You know, now I'm getting to the point where I really don't care about the fight at all. I just want to see Deontay Wilder knock his fucking head off. I really don't care about none of that shit. To me, it's no longer the biggest fight in boxing. It's really not. It's like Deontay Wilder's picking on a child. So it's like this dude doesn't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? And you can try to fool anybody all you want to. You can try to say, I got 94 belts in so little fights. What makes you think that I don't want to fight? But then when you say, okay, well, fight Deontay Wilder, you know, he said, give him anything. Just as long as in the rematch, you're willing to take the same thing. No, you can't do that. Joshua's he's the A side, win or lose. It doesn't matter. He can get knocked out in 30 seconds, and in the rematch, Joshua will still be the A side because he's the draw. He's the money man. Like, really? All right, look, man. You guys can spin it however way you want. Spin it however way you want, man. This man offered you $50 million, and the only thing you can do is say, it wasn't real. It's not real. It's not real. Prove it. Show me. Put it in a PayPal escrow. That's what you need to do. Put it in a PayPal escrow. Prove it. BT Sports. Yeah. BT Sports. They can't get involved. This is a Sky thing. Well, let's have a meeting. Listen, bro. Listen. Listen, let me just clear this up for you guys, man. You got to keep it in simple terms with the LTNK, man. You got to keep it in simple terms with the LTNK. If I said to you, hey, I got a lottery ticket for you. It's worth $50 million. Do you want it? And you say, yes, I want it. Give it to me. Then I give it to you. Then you have it. Done deal. Now you can say, oh, this isn't $50 million. This is $5. You gave me a $5 lottery ticket. That's one scenario. The other scenario is you tell me, hey, I want a $50 million lottery ticket. That's what I want. And I say, I got one. I'll give it to you. And then you say, okay, give it to me. And I say, here you go. And you say, thanks, I'm $50 million richer. Or you say, this isn't a $50 million lottery ticket. This is a $5 lottery ticket. You lied to me. Short, sweet, to the point. But for some strange reason, it's not that easy when it comes to Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Not even Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua. When it comes to this big feminine faggot, this big feminine fuckboy pussy coward, when it comes to him, you know, then it's all, oh, no. Please, God, prove it. No. It's just some guy from Alabama. He can't have that money. There's no way. Like, there's nobody rich in Alabama. There's no one rich in Alabama. Nobody from Alabama can be rich because they are from Alabama. So they can't be rich. You got to prove that money. No. You got to prove it. Put it in PayPal escrow. Show me something. Matter of fact, break down where the money is coming from. I want to see where every penny is coming from. I want to see. Prove it. Show me. Okay. All right, guys. Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis. Did anybody say, show me where the money's coming from? Did anybody say that? Floyd Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao. Did anybody say, show me where the money's coming from? Anthony Joshua fought Vladimir Klitschko, did anybody say, show me where the money's coming from? As a matter of fact, name any fight in the history of boxing where the other fighter, the so-called A-side, the so-called top guy, wanted to know where the money was coming from. Any fight. In the history of boxing. You can go back to 1885 and show me any fighter that said, I want 50 million. I want anything, not even 50 million. I want any price. They said, this is the price I want. And then when that person came up with the price, they turned it down because they wanted to know where the money came from. And then you got people saying, like fucking idiots, the LTNK on my channel talking about, oh, well, prove the money was real. Prove it. Trying to do reverse psychology. Get the fuck out of here, man. The fuck you mean prove it was real? Bitch, prove it wasn't. Let's do that. Prove it wasn't. Because there's two people. There's two teams that can tell you whether or not this money was real or whether it was fake. There's two teams. And the LNTK is not one of them. Well, the LTNK. The LTNK is not one of those teams. It is Team Wilder and Team Joshua. That's who it is. Team Wilder says, all you have to do is agree to take it. If you agree to the principle of the fight, if you agree to take the money you asked for, I will give you all the proof you need. Then you have Team AJ that says, no, you need to send me a contract first. You need to send me the devil in the details before I will agree to take the money that I'm asking for. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. It's not how that's not how that works. No, it doesn't work that way. So this is what I'm going to talk about now. I'm going to talk about the only fight in Anthony Joshua's entire career that actually mattered for anything. And that is Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. Right? So, this fight, right? They were discussing this fight after he fought they were discussing this fight after he fought Eric Molina after AJ fought Eric Molina. Right? That was the topic of discussion. So, well, Vladimir could fight Joshua, but at that time it was also discussion for Vladimir to fight Deontay Wilder. And the topic was, Deontay Wilder, he's not going to fight Vladimir. He's going to duck Vladimir. Even though Deontay Wilder was a champion and Vladimir Klitschko was just ranked number, 3 or some shit like that. The same thing as Tyson Fury. And it's funny, you guys weren't saying anything about Vladimir Klitschko being ranked number 3. Coming back off of a 2-year layoff and a loss and being unranked for damn near 2 years. You guys weren't saying anything. Y'all weren't saying nothing about that. But then Vladimir comes back and then he's ranked just fresh. Okay, I'm coming back to boxing. And as soon as he comes back to boxing, all of a sudden he's freshly ranked number 2 or 3 in the WBC and nobody cares. They're just like, oh yeah, he can fight Vladimir. Wilder will duck Vladimir. He will duck him. Yeah, see? He's ranked high. Yeah. I don't remember anybody saying, Vladimir don't have no tune-ups. Vladimir's not ready for Wilder yet. He needs to have some tune-ups. I don't remember any of that conversation. I don't remember any of that. Nothing. The choice was strictly on Vladimir Klitschko. It was, Vladimir Klitschko, you can fight Deontay Wilder for the WBC title and the WBA title. Or you can fight Anthony Joshua for the IBF title and the WBA title. Or you can fight Luis Ortiz for the WBA title. Those were your options, Vladimir Klitschko. It was Vladimir Klitschko who picked Anthony Joshua. Joshua didn't pick him. He didn't pick him. Vladimir Klitschko, who was promoted, who was by Shelly Finkel at that time, the same Shelly Finkel that so-called so hard to work with, that you guys are saying, oh, they're protecting Wilder. This is the same Shelly Finkel that, brought the contract, the original contract, because Vladimir agreed. Let's put this in chronological order. He agreed to fight Joshua. He turned down Wilder. He turned down Ortiz. Factual statements. He agreed to fight Joshua, right? So once he agreed to fight Joshua, Eddie Hearn sent him a contract. Right? So now let's put this into comparison. Had Joshua agreed to take the very money that he asked for, if he agreed to take $50 million, the $50 million that he asked for, then Wilder's team would have sent him a contract. But he never agreed. So no contract was ever sent. Okay, cool. Now, let's go back to comparison. Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko agreed to fight Anthony Joshua. When he agreed to fight Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn sent him a contract. Right? We're on the same page now. You got to put shit in context. On the same page. The same page. Same page. Vladimir Klitschko agreed to fight Joshua. Team Joshua sent him a contract. Anthony Joshua did not agree to fight Wilder because he owned the $50 million. He did not agree. So no contract was sent. Okay? Do you understand? Are we on the same page so far? Vladimir Klitschko agreed. He agreed to fight Anthony Joshua. He picked Anthony Joshua. Right? He picked him. Your options was Wilder, Ortiz, Joshua. Those were Vladimir Klitschko's options. Vladimir Klitschko picked Joshua. So, Anthony Joshua's options when it comes to Deontay Wilder was what he asked for. $50 million. That's what he asked for. That is what was provided to him. $50 million. All he had to do was agree to take it. That's it. That's all he had to do. Agree to take the $50 million you asked for. That's all he had to do. And the contract would have been sent. Right? If you didn't like the contract when it was sent, Anthony Joshua, if you did not like the contract, if you didn't like the terms, well then what you do is you send it back. You say, I don't like this and I don't like that. Right? Now, go over to Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko agreed to fight Anthony Joshua. Team Joshua sent him a contract. He did not like the terms of the contract. So you know what he did? Do you know what he did? Lo and behold, Vladimir Klitschko sent the contract back to Eddie Hearn. Wow. Wow. Was Vladimir Klitschko tied to anything? Was he tied to anything? Well, was Vladimir Klitschko locked in to having to fight on a horrible deal, for a horrible deal? Was he locked in for that? Because he agreed to fight Joshua. Was he locked in? Did it matter where the money came from? Or we just know Eddie Hearn's good for it. He's good for it. No, he's good for it. No, he's good for it. No matter, he's good for it. Don't matter, he's good for it. Well, was any of that said? No, it was not. Vladimir Klitschko got the first contract. Okay, we got to put it in context because, the LTNK will try to twist this as much as they can. Factual statements, right? Deontay Wilder offered $50 million. He offered him what he asked for. Anthony Joshua, actually, let's take a step back. Anthony Joshua asked for $50 million, right? Anthony Joshua asked for $50 million. Vladimir Klitschko had his choice between Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, and Anthony Joshua. Vladimir Klitschko asked for Anthony Joshua. He picked Anthony Joshua. Factual statement. Right? So, after Anthony Joshua asked for $50 million, he picked $50 million, right? After he asked for that, Deontay Wilder said, okay, I will give you $50 million. Okay? So, after Vladimir Klitschko said, I'm picking Anthony Joshua, right? After he picked him, his next thing, he said, fine, I'm picking you. I agree to fight Anthony Joshua. He picked Anthony Joshua. He says, I agree to fight Anthony Joshua. I agree. That's the fight I want. I'm picking Anthony Joshua over Deontay Wilder and over Luis Ortiz, right? It never got that far with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder because Anthony Joshua turned down the $50 million that he asked for. He turned it down. He said, I won't sell my soul for $50 million. So it never got to the contract portion. Because, again, Deontay Wilder went back to not knowing what the fuck this man wants. It went back to that. It started with, give me $50 million. There was the ask. Right? Vladimir Klitschko says, I'm picking Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's like, wow, okay, me. All right, cool. Tag, I'm it. Okay, now, Deontay Wilder says, okay, you asked for $50 million. I'm going to get $50 million. Do you agree to this $50 million? Do you agree to this? You said you wanted it. I'm getting it. Do you agree to $50 million? Vladimir Klitschko says he wants Anthony Joshua, right? He picks Anthony Joshua. He says he wants Anthony Joshua. They both are in agreement. Team Joshua, Team Vladimir Klitschko. They are in agreement that that's the fight that they want next. That's what they want to do. There's no meetings. There's none of that. There's none of that. There is, I want $50 million. Deontay Wilder says, I'll get $50 million. Here's the $50 million. You say you want the $50 million. Do you want it? This man says, if all Joshua had to say was, yes, I want the $50 million. Okay, cool. Here's the contract. This gives you all the details. Joshua never got to that point. Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko said, I want Joshua. I'm picking Joshua over Wilder and over Ortiz. I'm picking Joshua. Joshua said, okay, you want this fight. This is the fight you want. Fine, cool. Send me the contract. Vladimir gets the contract. Vladimir looks at the contract. Shelly Finkel's the one that got the contract from Eddie Hearn. Shelly Finkel's the one that brought the contract to Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko looked at the contract and said, I don't like it. Don't like it. Send it back. I want this. And I want that. That contract went back to Team AJ in Matchroom. Was reconstructed to fit Vladimir Klitschko's desires with a 50-50 purse split. And then went back to Vladimir Klitschko, who approved it. So this is what I'm trying to figure out. If that was the process with Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua, which was Anthony Joshua's only fight that mattered at all. If that was the process, super simple, super streamlined. Do you want it? No. It was Vladimir telling him, I want it. This is what he wants. Okay. Them coming to the agreement that they want this, and here's the contract. Because without an agreement that they actually want this, there's no point or purpose for a contract. Because if that's the case, I can just give everybody a contract right now. No one's saying they want it. No one's saying they want anything to do with me. And I just start handing out contracts like hotcakes. I'm sure the LTNK will twist this. I'm sure you will twist it. I'm sure. But that's the reason why I'm only focusing on Vladimir Klitschko. Because Vladimir Klitschko is the only fight in Joshua's career that mattered for anything. Vladimir Klitschko turned down the original contract that they offered. And there was no repercussions. None. Vladimir Klitschko wasn't tied to nothing. Wasn't tied to anything. I don't remember Vladimir Klitschko asking anybody to validate funds. Proof of funds. That never happened. It never happened. Why? Because he gave him a percentage. 50-50. That's why. So the total grossing of the fight was split 50-50. So he wouldn't know how much the money was until the total grossing of the fight was done. Now, whatever back end deals that Vladimir did and AJ did on the back end or some other side, whatever the case may be, that was totally on them, that's all their bread. So they can capture that in the amount of money that they made. But the purse itself was 50-50. Vladimir wasn't having it any other way. 50-50. And he was not a champion. He was a defeated 41-year-old man coming off a 2-year layoff. The only thing he had to offer was a name. He wasn't a champion. He had a name. That's the only thing that Vladimir Klitschko had to offer. A name. Nothing more. He was older than both the other guys that he turned down. He was older than Wilder and older than Ortiz. And turned both of those guys down. Could have fought both of them. Could have fought Wilder for the WBC and WBA title. A WBC belt he's never had, by the way. Again, never had. The same WBC title that he was trying to fight Stavern for and trying to pay Stavern step-aside money. Trying to pay Wilder step-aside money so that they can become undisputed. He was aggressively seeking and going after Stavern for a fight. But all that aggression disappeared when Wilder became the champion. And nobody in the LTNK, can explain where the aggression went. Where did the Vladimir aggression for undisputed go? Where did it go? See, he was aggressively seeking out Stavern for undisputed. Aggressively. They were aggressively trying to pay Wilder step-aside money so they could become undisputed, and Wilder turned it down. So, where did that aggression go after Wilder beat Stavern because Vladimir was still the champion? Of course y'all won't answer that. Of course, the LTNK will go ahead and avoid that question like the plague. The LTNK will change the subject and talk about how bad Wilder's resume is and talk about Vladimir being a legend. The LTNK will change that completely around. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to mention that. It's not what they want to talk about. They want to talk about the glorious and great defeat that Vladimir had at the hands of Joshua. That's what they want to talk about. But again, fine. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You beat a 41-year-old man coming off a 2-year layoff and no tune-ups. You beat a man that picked you. He thought you was sweet. That's what you're not getting. He thought you was beatable. So he picked you. He picked Anthony Joshua over Deontay Wilder and over Luis Ortiz because he thought you was beatable. He thought you was sweet. But you guys look at that as, oh no, this is legacy. He passed the buck. He passed it to the young lion. He passed the baton. He was going after legacy. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Because if he was going after legacy, he would have went after the one belt he never had in his entire reign. If he was going after legacy. The Joshua fight would have been there. It wasn't going nowhere. It would have been there. Had he beat Deontay Wilder and become the WBA, WBC heavyweight champion. A title he's never had. But he thought Joshua was sweet, so he figured he'd go that route and get paid. He would have still got paid for fighting Wilder. You know, this guy that he knocked out in sparring, he destroyed in sparring. You know, this bum. Some guy that he destroyed and knocked out in sparring several times. So he still would have made some millions, right? He would have made millions fighting Deontay Wilder. And beating Deontay Wilder, destroying Deontay Wilder, you know, with body shots. He would have made millions. He wouldn't have made the same amount of money. He wouldn't have made the same amount of money fighting Wilder as he would have made with Joshua. But he would have made millions. Probably about maybe 3-4 million, maybe. Probably about 3-4 million. And then, if he beat Wilder, he would have been the WBA and the WBC heavyweight champion. So then, when he fought Joshua, he would have commanded 60-40. 60-40, dare I say, 60-40. So that means he would have made more money fighting Joshua after he fought Wilder, had he fought Wilder first. Dare I say that if you fucking LTNK fan bitches are out there talking about, oh, well, he was a legend, that's why he got 50-50, even though he didn't have a title. Well, what would he have gotten if he had a WBC and WBA title when he fought Joshua? What would he have gotten? Dare I say 60-40? Dare I say that? He fuck around and got 70-30. Dare I say that? Let me not say that. Let me not spit those numbers out there because they don't fit your bullshit LTNK narrative. They don't fit your narrative. But if Vladimir Klitschko got 50-50 fighting Anthony Joshua, who was a champion, and Vladimir Klitschko was not. He held no belts. Nothing. He was ranked number 3 in a WBA and a WBC and like number 2 in WBA. Some shit like that. So if this guy, right, who had no belts, got 50-50 off of his name alone and the shit that he'd done in the past, how much would he have gotten if he had beaten Wilder and was the WBA and WBC heavyweight champion? You still think it would have been a 50-50 fight? If you think it was a 50-50 fight, go find a bridge and jump off of it. Don't ever come back to my channel again. Because this man, there's no fucking way that he would have got 50-50 fighting Joshua if he was the WBC and WBA heavyweight champion and Joshua just had one belt, the IBF belt. Never would have happened. Never. Never would have happened. Never. What would have happened is Anthony Joshua would have got 40% at best. 30% likely. Dare I say 33. That's what would have happened. But Vladimir wanted no parts of Wilder. None. Sparred the man many, many times. Many times. Logically, it does not make sense that if you are destroying somebody in sparring, if you are destroying them, knocking them out, if you are destroying them in sparring, logically, it makes no sense in the world on why you would not fight that guy first to get that belt. A belt you've never had. It makes no sense at all. A belt you've never had, a belt you was trying to get 2 years earlier when you had the other 3. You were trying to get that belt. The same guy has it. That hasn't changed. You were trying to get that belt. You destroyed this guy in sparring. Let's not talk about what you did to Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Because dare I say you destroyed Joshua? Dare I say that? You probably you felt comfortable, more comfortable fighting Joshua than you did Wilder. That's why you went the Joshua route. Because if it was about business, then you would have went the Wilder route. Because that's an easier fight. And he has a title. And beating him would give you 2 titles. So then that means it will be more in your business for you, for better business for you, Vladimir, to fight Joshua after you defeated Wilder. Because now you're coming in as a 2-belt champion. The most prestigious belt in boxing, WBC, and the WBA belt, the oldest belt. So you have 2 of the most prestigious belts, the most prestigious and lucrative belt, the WBC, the most sought after belt, the WBC, and then the oldest belt, the WBA. You have them both. You fuck around and might have got the lineal title in that fight. You fuck around and might have got it in that fight. Not saying you would have, perhaps. But whatever the case may be, your next one, had you fought Joshua next, or even if you fought Joshua after you fought like a Stavern who fuck around and might have been the mandatory for the WBC title. Who knows? You fought the Stavern that you was going to fight prior to that and you destroy him. Now you go after Joshua. How is it more business savvy to fight Joshua right away and lose that fight than it is to fight Wilder right away and get a belt that you've never held and a WBA belt, have two belts, then come back and have potentially a fight in between to make millions, and then the fight with Joshua to unify three belts and make a shit ton of money and get a 60-30%, a 70-30%, or a 67-33%, 60-40 at the least. But y'all won't, the LTNK, you'll change that all up. You'll change it all up. Vladimir wanted to fight Joshua. Vladimir, you'll spin it somehow. You'll spin it somehow. The bottom line, the negotiations that were done for Vladimir were the same ones that was done for Joshua. Joshua just turned them down in the beginning, whereas Vladimir did not. The negotiations are the same. Joshua turned it down. But you guys will spin that. You'll spin it. You'll say the shit was fake, oh, it wasn't real, prove it was real. But where was this proving anything with Vladimir? Where was this? Where was any of this? Y'all are fucking pathetic, man. I destroy and debunk you guys on a daily basis. Every time I come on this motherfucker, I shit on y'all. Every time. And then you're in my comments with a whole bunch of bullshit that has nothing to do with the topic of my comments. You just, oh, well, Wilder's resume is trash. Fine. Then why didn't Vladimir fight him? Here's an article. I'm pretty sure you're going to post the article of Shelly Finkel talking about how Wilder's just a baby. I'm pretty sure you're going to post it in my comments somewhere. So I will preemptively debunk that now. Shelly Finkel may have thought Wilder was a baby. Vladimir Klitschko did not. Or else Vladimir Klitschko would have fought him. Vladimir Klitschko would have fought him. Vladimir Klitschko had the opportunity to fight three people. Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz, and Anthony Joshua. He himself picked Anthony Joshua. He turned down Luis Ortiz and he turned down Deontay Wilder. If he destroyed Deontay Wilder, if Deontay Wilder was just a baby, well then that should have been easy pickings. Should have been easy pickings. Shelly Finkel was both of their managers. Easy pickings. It should have been easy pickings. Easy. Very easy. Vladimir Klitschko should have been saying, I want Wilder next. That's the fight I want. I want Wilder. Vladimir Klitschko should have been saying, hey, this is going to be an easy fight. We're both promoted by the same person. We're both have the same manager. It's going to be an easy fight to make. That's what he should be saying. That's what he should have been saying. But no, what was he saying? Oh, well, they just want to see him fight somebody. Fans just want to see him fight somebody. As if you're not included in that group that is somebody. You're not included in that. You're something else. You're a god. You're not in somebody. You're a god. So the fans want to see him fight somebody, which equals everybody except you. And the sheep, the LTNK, they were out there in droves. Yeah, see? Yeah, I agree with Vladimir. Wilder's ducking everybody. Not one of the LTNK, not one of them said, well, hold on, Vladimir, aren't you somebody? You say they want, like the fans want to see him fight somebody, but aren't you somebody? Not one of the LTNK said that. They immediately took that as Wilder's not fighting anybody. See? And the great Vladimir Klitschko said so. Well, where was Vladimir Klitschko trying to get that easy pickings? Trying to get that easy bread? Where was he at? Knocked the guy out in sparring several times. Destroyed him in sparring. Knocked him out multiple times, right? So where was he at? Where was Vladimir Klitschko, the great Vladimir Klitschko, trying to get that easy bread? Where was he at? Where was he at? Exactly. Ducking. That's where he was at. With the rest of these punk motherfuckers. BFTB and I'm out.